today's video, I'm going to show you how to utilize the advanced data analysis tool inside of ChatGPT to analyze all of your Facebook ad data. No need for you to be an Excel wizard, no need for you to be a math wizard. ChatGPT does all the heavy lifting for you. So let's go ahead and get right in. All right, so let's first talk about use cases. Now, obviously, Facebook already gives us a lot of data, and we can always be looking at that inside of here. But depending on how granular we want to get, it can be very difficult to analyze the data inside of Facebook Ads Manager. And an example of that is when we use breakdowns. Now, if you're not familiar with the breakdowns, they are a really great and I would say underutilized tool to get granular with your data. So it can break your data down by a bunch of different variables. We can see country, day, region in here. You can also do placement or platform, all sorts of different demographics and geographies and delivery, or even by action, you know, what button are they clicking, what carousel are they engaging with, all that kind of stuff. So really great stuff right here. Now for this campaign in particular, we're going to look at country data because this is a campaign we're running worldwide. So we want to see what is the distribution of spend, where are the purchases coming from, and what are the most profitable places. Now obviously you can see here that it's a lot of data to be looking at. So if I were to do this manually, it would take me an extremely long time. So I'm going to expedite the process of the advanced data analysis tool. Now, if you're not advertising a bunch of countries, again, this is still 100% relevant because I can switch this over to by day. And again, you know, analyzing the data by each and every single day, you know, it can be difficult to identify any trends. And so I want to use a tool like ChatGPT data analysis to do that for me. But let me go back to country right here. In order to download the data with one of these breakdowns, sorry, let me get rid of that one right there. You have to click on the export button. You have to click on export data table, and you have to click on export as XLS. This will not work as an export as CSV. And then you have to select format as a pivot table. Otherwise, again, it will not work. And also make sure that you have the correct date range selected. Now, I already downloaded these just to expedite this process a little bit. So here is the raw file right here. Now, the raw file needs a little bit of formatting work in order for ChatGPT to be able to use it correctly. So here is one where I've already made those changes. So let's kind of compare and contrast what I've done here. So first and foremost, I got rid of these top 3 rows right here, or 2 rows, I should say, because there's no data right there. So it's not useful for ChatGPT to be seeing that. So over here in this fixed one, I have the columns, the top row right there. And then also in this original one, there are a bunch of empty spaces here under the website purchase column, but that's just going to generate errors in the analysis, which I don't want. So here I have it where all the columns say website purchase right there. The way I did this, it's really easy. You just select 2 cells right there, and then you keep on dragging it down all the way to the bottom, and it'll copy everything in there for you. Now, there still is some work to be done here though, because there's also a bunch of blanks right here. So wherever there's a blank, that means there was no purchase that day or with that country, and therefore there's nothing to display. However, again, having blank fields is going to distort the analysis inside of ChatGPT. So we want to make sure we fill that. However, you might imagine that for me to add zeros in here for all these rows, that would take me a super long time. But for that part, I'm gonna have ChatGPT fix that. This one I did myself because it's super quick and easy. Again, it's just a matter of dragging that down. But for kind of the more advanced and time-consuming cleaning aspects of the file, I'm gonna have ChatGPT do that for me. So let me go ahead and jump right in. Now, in order to do this, you have to be using ChatGPT Premium, which is $20 a month. It is the best $20 that you will be spending, so I highly recommend it. So when you open it up, this is what it's going to look like, and just double check to make sure. It usually does default to GPT-4, but just in case, that's always good to check. So it has to be on GPT-4 where it says with Dolly, browsing and analysis. If you happen to be selected with GPT 3.5, you are not going to be able to do this. So we want to start this off by selecting this icon right here to upload the file. I'm gonna have the file right there. Perfect. Now I'm gonna give it its first instruction. I just want to make sure it's understanding what it is that I'm giving it. So I'm going to say read in this data set and describe its contents. Because if it doesn't understand what I'm giving it, then my analysis is not going to be very fruitful. And just in case you are extremely nerdy, whenever it is performing an analysis, you can click on this drop down right here, and you can actually see the exact code and coding that it's using to perform the analysis. I believe most of this is done in Python. Again, that's not really my realm and expertise, but I believe that's what it is. So if you are nerdy and you like that kind of stuff, you can go ahead and check it out right there. So here it tells me it appears to be related to an advertising campaign. There's campaign contain information, financial metrics, performance metrics, ranking metrics, reporting dates, all that kind of stuff. Awesome. So it has a very good, clear understanding of what is in there. So now I'm going to have it do the remainder of the cleaning. So let me make this full size. The first thing that I actually want to do is that I want it to get rid of the all row, because all is not a country, but it's going to think that it is a country, right? The country all had the most ad spend and the most sales, right? But that's not the case, right? It's just a summary row. So we want it to get rid of that. So I'm going to say, please remove all rows that contain all under the country column. Now you want to make sure that your punctuation is exact. So I capitalized both all and country because that's exactly how it is inside of the sheet. If we go back and look at it right here, capitalized, capitalized. Okay, so it ran the initial analysis and it's giving us a picture of kind of a little bit of a preview of what the table looks like. Now we're getting all of these blank fields because those fields actually do exist right there. It's talking about like these ones like delivery status, delivery column, all kind of stuff. But I'm not too concerned about that simply because I'm not gonna have it analyze those fields. But I am gonna have it analyze where there's data over here on the results, cost per result, so I can't have these blank fields. So I'm gonna come back over here and I'm gonna say, under the results column, add a value of 0.00 to all blank fields. And the reason I'm doing it as 0.00 is because all the other values are already to 2 decimal places. So I want to make sure that there's consistency with that. Perfect. So now it is going to do it, and I wanted to do it for all these other fields straight across the board. You could attempt to have it do it for all of them at the same time. However, I have seen ChatGPT struggle a little bit when you give it too many instructions all at once. So I prefer to do them one by one. Okay, actually here I had a little bit of an error. I said that do this to the website purchases column, and it's like there is no website purchases column, which is actually correct. So that was my mistake. All right, so here we go. We are done with that part. Let me just double check and make sure. So I did results, cost per result, result rate. Actually, I don't think I did result rate now that I think about it. So let me go back and then, oh, but I want the purchases column. I do want that one. Okay, cool. So this is always good to check your data to make sure that you are including all of the correct information. So here, I'm gonna say this, the purchases. Okay, so here's a good example of how precise you have to be. I said result rate with capital R in the second R, but there is no capital R in the second R, so it actually did not recognize it. So that's how important it is to make sure that you are precise in your punctuation and capitalization, all that kind of stuff. So let me go ahead and make this a lowercase r so that it is happy. And while it's doing that, I'm gonna do one final check to make sure that I've covered all of the columns that I need. Okay, perfect. Now, so there are 2 campaigns that we downloaded here. Let me go back over to, there's this campaign here, and then, where's the other campaign? This campaign right here. I'm gonna start off with this campaign right here, because this is the older one. So I'm gonna grab that and you'll see what I'm about to do. So for the campaign titled show the top 10 countries with the highest ROAS. Now, this isn't actually a true part of my analysis. It's just kind of a quick way to show you initially how it works and how it functions, and also just a fun exercise. But this isn't going to be ultra telling information, simply because I'm not giving it additional parameters. I literally just said just show me the highest ROAS. So this could be countries where only a few dollars were spent and someone made a lucky purchase, and so therefore the ROAS is through the roof. It doesn't necessarily mean that those are going to be the best countries, but again, it's just a fun exercise. In my next prompt, I'm going to be a lot more specific and insightful to show something that we can actually take action on. So I think I lost my spot here. Here we go. Perfect. And now it's starting to list them all out right here. So again, I know this says a ROAS of 85 and 48 for the Ivory Coast and stuff like that, but it could mean that we only spent like a couple dollars and got a purchase. So not gonna put too much weight on that. So where we do want to analyze, because we can make very hard changes on this, is where are we spending the most money but getting the lowest ROAS, because that means those countries are draining our budget and lowering our overall ROAS, and so we don't want to be advertising there anymore. So I'm going to say for the same campaign, show all the countries that have a ROAS of less than 1.00 and amount spent greater than 60.00. So here I'm giving it some additional parameters. I'm not just saying what country has the lowest ROAS. I'm saying ROAS of less than 1, and we had to have spent more than $60, because if a country, we've spent $5 there and got 0 purchases, obviously that's a 0 ROAS, but we spent $5. I'm not overly concerned about it. I want to know where are we spending lots of money but not getting enough purchases to justify keep on spending there. All right, so we can see here some super insightful data. So we see in the UK, we've spent $425, ROAS is 0.76. Germany, $358, ROAS of 0.68. Australia, $334, ROAS of 0.48. So this is a lot of money. I mean, well over $2,000 when you add all this up, and we're losing money on all of this. So now I can easily go back in here, exclude these countries, and it'll increase the overall ROAS of the campaign as a whole. Now, another thing that this tool can use, in addition to data analysis, is it can also do data visualization. So I'm going to tell it, please create a horizontal bar chart depicting the sorry, can't spell today. Depicting the, oh my gosh, there's something, sorry, going on with my keyboard. Depicting the results All right, awesome. So here is the actual bar chart, so we can actually visualize what is going on. We can see all this money that is just going completely to waste. This is obviously really great information to present if you are in a client-based business such as mine, or even for yourself if you're more of a visual person and you don't like looking at data tables. Here is just another great way. So both for data analysis and data visualization, this is a great tool to use. All right, and there you have it. That is how you use the data analysis tool inside of ChatGPT to find really powerful insights that you can take action on with your Facebook ads. By the way, if you enjoyed this tutorial and you're just curious about how to utilize ChatGPT more, I also created a tutorial on how to have it create very compelling and powerful ad copy for you. If you are interested in that video, go ahead and check it out right here. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.